Okay, we're back, and it is time for our December record collection update. And I'm trying something a little different, a little bit different angle. There's so many really cool spaces in this room that I wanted to kind of put something else in the background for once. I've got a little Five Iron Frenzy poster there, and then 10 out of 10, some singer songwriters from Tennessee, autograph poster there. Wish you could see up above this. In fact, I'm just going to tilt it so you can see for a second. A bunch of CD covers I got autographed back in the day, and then a poster from seeing Death Cab for Cutie and um, Death Cab for Cutie and the Postal Service 20th anniversary tour. Oh, sorry about all that, but too cool not to share. So, all right, December records. So here's the deal. I literally was sitting down with my wife a minute ago, and we were talking about how many records did I buy this month, because we're getting into the new year. We're setting goals. I'm going to be talking about that on the podcast soon. And one of the goals is to put some constraints on record purchasing. Um, Definitely not stopping record purchasing. Gonna keep going strong. Really love it. It's definitely one of my passions. But wanting to make sure that, one, I've got a lot of records now, and space is limited. So the records that I'm getting are ones that I really, really want to make sure I have in the collection. And then two is making sure that, like, we're the money is going where it needs to go in our budget. Just like any other person. We've got other things that are other goals and other priorities. So making sure it goes that way. So our goal, one of the goals I'm going to talk about more in the podcast, is for me to get about 4 records a month, which may sound like a lot to you. And I've had some months where I've been close to that, but I've had other months where I've had like 24 records, which is insane. So about 4 records a month. That's about a record a week. Is sort of the goal going forward. Now there may be some months I go over, and I'll have to kind of balance that out with months that I go less, and that'll be how that goes. But anyway, here in December, I have quite a few records, but we were surprised to find that there were very few that I actually paid for in this month. So that's something. So let's start off with one of the records I did pay for this month, which is the December. Oh, it's very glary here. The December, Her Majesty. Man, I've got an open blinds over there, so that is making it a little hard to see, especially through that. But yeah, Her Majesty by the Decemberists. So the Decemberists is one of my all-time favorite bands, kind of folky singer-songwriter, alternative rock band out of Portland, Oregon. This is says available on vinyl with the original cover art for the first time ever. It includes a 10-foot by 10-inch by 56-inch fold-out poster of the full cover painting by Carson Ellis. I hope I'm not talking too far away from the mic. And a digital download, of course. So that full cover poster, it's so big. Like, I would love to have it out. There's just not. Well, maybe it might go up there. We'll have to see. But yeah, so very cool poster. This is just black vinyl. But the Decemberists are one of my favorite bands, and we realized that there's a couple of their studio albums I didn't have. There was about 3. And my record guy, I just want to shout out Wyatt at St. Marie Records. Just happen to have one of their stickers right here. My favorite record shop. These guys are absolutely amazing. It's just Wyatt and his son that run the shop. I believe his name's Corbin, and please forgive me if I'm wrong. I have a terrible memory for names. But they are amazing. And so what I've been doing is, like, with some of my favorite artists that I want to have everything that they've put out, I've been going to Wyatt, and he's been ordering them for me. Now, I could order those separately, like on my own. I could absolutely order those and probably save a few bucks. But I really want to support this record store. I want them to do well. And you're going to see another. I'm going to talk about them a bunch in this video probably. But so I've been going with some of my favorite artists and going down to see Wyatt and them and saying, hey, I'm looking for these albums by this artist. What can you do? And he's been ordering as much as he can. And the Decemberist is one of those artists for me. So we added Her Majesty. It's the month of December, so there was a lot of Christmas stuff going on, a lot of holiday stuff. I am a school librarian, and we have a meeting / Christmas party, and part of that is a White Elephant gift exchange, and we have gift cards. Well, I got a gift card to Target. I immediately took it and spent it, and it paid for half of this record, which is Meet the Beatles. Some of the early Beatles stuff recently repressed in mono. This is a Target exclusive edition, although I did lose that sticker. It didn't transfer very well. The Beatles are coming. This one is in a really beautiful, sort of translucent, actually, I think it's opaque blue vinyl. Let's see if I can get that out without taking too long. An opaque, hold that down. An opaque blue vinyl. It's even got a little bit of a swirl in there. A little hard to see, but yeah, I really love early Beatles stuff. I like a lot of Beatles stuff, but I really love early Beatles stuff, and I don't have very much of it except for in sort of their number ones album. So I was very excited to get that first Beatles album on vinyl, and it sounds great. So this one was a pre-order, so this is not one I paid for this month. Paid for it several months back. Super excited to get this. So in fact, I'm gonna tilt the screen again and throw off the whole camera, but you can see up there in that pink poster, "Further Seems Forever." That is from the unoriginal vinyl box of "The Moon Is Down," kind of an anniversary edition. The only studio album by them I did not own was this one, "Hide Nothing." So if you don't know much about Further Seems Forever, they're a fantastic sort of emo band. One of the things that sort of defines them in a way is that they have a different vocalist on every album. Their first album, "The Moon Is Down," was with Chris Carrabba, who was also creating Dashboard Confessional at the same time. But they've had several vocalists after that, and Chris has come back for another album as well. This album was with John Bunch of Sensefield, who unfortunately has passed away. It is an absolutely phenomenal album. I've got the, let's see if they have the Light and Blood Smash vinyl. Absolutely gorgeous. Pressed by my friend Jason and the team at Unoriginal Vinyl. I'm so glad to have this in the collection. With this, I now have every studio album by Further Seems Forever in my collection. But that was a pre-order. So then my father-in-law gave me some money for Christmas to spend. Very generous of him, and I was, of course, all too happy to spend it. I went to the record store maybe the next day, maybe a couple days later, and I picked up a handful of records, 3 different records, and one of them was a record that I have been wanting for a long time. It was definitely on my list of like, I've got to get this album in my collection. And that would be this one right here. It's on a, actually I've still got the white sleeves in here, but they are lined with rice paper. It's on black 180 gram vinyl, but it is Incubus Morning View. This is my favorite Incubus album. There are so many good songs on here. Warning is one of my favorites. Shoot, let me see if I can get this up to see some of the track titles again. "Wish You Were Here" is a good one. "Aqueous Transmission" is a great song on here. So yeah, Warning was one of those songs that I loved it so much when it came out, so I'm so glad to have that pressed on vinyl. Now, Incubus did do like a Morning View 25 for the 25th anniversary celebration where they re-recorded all the tracks. And I'm sure they're great, but I just wanted the original tracks because they held that sort of nostalgic value for me. So, very excited to have Incubus Morning View in the collection, double LP 180 gram vinyl. Another album that I picked up with that gift money was this one. I had looked at it a few times. Again, all 3 of these I bought at St. Marie Records in Fort Worth. I had looked at this record a few times and really been, I wanted it. I was struggling with wanting to purchase it. And it just not being something that it wasn't something I was gonna, fork out my budget for. But when I have a gift, it was an awesome opportunity to pick it up. This, of course, most well known. I think this is the first album that Ben Folds was on when he was part of Ben Folds 5. Later went solo. But this album, most well known for the song "Brick," but really great album. Very glad to have it. Very nostalgic as well. And then this is the thing that I did. So recently I've sort of discovered that this next artist is an artist from Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, which is where I'm from. And I had never really listened to their music, but I found that a lot of times I'd be looking at other artists and it would be like, if you like this artist, you should listen to this artist. And so I was like, maybe I need to give this artist a shot. And they're a DFW artist. I always love to support local artists. So I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check out this artist. So I picked up a couple of the first albums that this artist put out, held them up for Wyatt from St. Marie to tell me which one was better. And he was actually on the phone, so I was just like, which one? And he goes, asks the guy who he's on the phone with, and he points to this one. So I picked up this album here, St. Vincent, Marry Me, and it's a gorgeous album. She's got a phenomenal voice. The music is really enjoyable. It's not what I would have expected it to be, and I say that in sort of the best way. I'm eager to dive deeper into St. Vincent, and I'm kind of sad that I hadn't listened to her really until now. Also black vinyl, so I didn't get really any color pressings with that money from my father-in-law, but I got some great albums. And I love that at St. Marie, I can go record hunting and find things like Ben Folds that I know I love, that I want. I can pick up, records that I know I love, that I'm going specifically to look for. I can get them to order stuff that I want. But I can also just be like, hey, what's a good album, and pick it up. There's another album that he recommended, the newest album by a band called Trauma Ray. And I had never heard of Trauma Ray before, but man, that new album is killer. So, again, highly recommend you go check out St. Marie Records and talk to Wyatt. He's a great guy. So then I got an unexpected surprise. I got a ska box mailed to me there at the end of the year. I've always loved ska box and really tried to support what they do. I can't always subscribe. Some months I can. I throw in some money and I subscribe. Some months I can't. And things have been, I had to have eye surgery this last month. So, the budget was a little bit more on the tight side. But they were such a blessing and just sent me a box out of the goodness of their hearts, which was so nice. And in that box, I got a couple of records. So one of the records I got was a 7-inch, and it is this one. It is Rude Girl Review. I don't know if you can see that there. Rude Girl Review. And if you've never heard Rude Girl Review, they are so phenomenal. It's not always all the same artists. It's a lot of just the fantastic women artists in ska music. But Kristen Forbes kind of leads it up, and Jenny Whiskey. I think they're the two that are the most consistent, like they kind of run it. And then I think, and please forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think that the other artists are kind of different artists that come and go when they play on stage. But this is a Christmas 7-inch. It's got Behind Every Santa, there's a Mrs. Claus, and it's got sleigh bells. If you can see that there. There we go. And this is on a really great little red opaque vinyl. But so great little Christmas 7-inch. And then I also got a copy of And Out Come the Lawsuits. Now, this is a cover album of Rancid songs from And Out Come the Wolves. I'm going to be honest, I like Rancid. I've seen them live now, but I don't know their albums well enough to know if all these songs come from And Out Come the Wolves, or if they come from different albums. But I do know that there's some great artists on here, and it's a beautiful record. Sorry for covering my face there. It's a beautiful record. It's a split blue and white opaque vinyl, so some of the artists that are on here, I mean, for me, the artists that really I was like, oh man, I'm so stoked about this. It's got Flying Raccoon Suit, Omnigon, Link 80, Matamoska. Let's see here. Those are going to be the artists that I know the most. But also on here, there's Stay Wild, Get Married, Little Debbie and the Crusaders, Hammer Bombs, Pretty Frankenstein, and a lot more. Flying Raccoon Suit's covering Time Bomb on here. Matamoska is covering Listed MIA. Omnigon's covering Lockstep and Gone. It's a great album. I enjoyed listening to it the other day. And for someone who doesn't know Rancid as well as I really should, it's kind of nice to get exposed to them a little more, even if it's people covering them. So, All right, so my buddy Wyatt over at St. Marie Records was also, he ordered that December album for me. There are 3 December albums I didn't have. Her Majesty, um, this next one that I'm about to talk about, which is What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World, and The Hazards of Love. Hazards of Love you cannot get a hold of right now. It's not pressed right now. It's out of press. But the other 2 you could. And so he had already ordered this one for me. What a Terrible World, What a Beautiful World. This is a fantastic album, double LP, black vinyl, 180 gram. So again, just glad to add some more Decemberists to the collection. If I'm being honest, this is not an album I know as well. I kind of was, I go sometimes in loops where I'm not listening to certain things as much. I didn't know that album as well, but I'm very excited to listen to it a bunch because the Decemberists and Colin Malloy are some of my favorite artists, and I'm so super stoked to hear it. At this point, the only studio full-length album I'm missing by the Decemberists are The Hazards of Love, which again is out of press, and I cannot wait to find a copy and buy it, or for them to put it back in to repress it. Fingers crossed. Colin Malloy, if you're watching my channel, please press again The Hazards of Love. So then, the beginning of last year in January, I subscribed to the Ska Punk International Record Club. Now, if you know anything about subscribing to a record club, typically the deal is you get a record every month. Ska Punk International and Cool Chris, who runs Ska Punk International, fantastic people. He's a fantastic guy. Love that dude. He's from here in the area, and I want him to be so successful. And he ended up, after he started the record club this month, in January, he ended up changing his pressing plan. Really, it was at his own cost, but because he wanted better quality, better consistency, so that he could put out a better product. And to me, that speaks a lot about Cool Chris and what he's doing, and why everyone should be on board with Ska Punk International. So one of the things, so I got a box, which is 3 pressings that would have been part of this club. I've still got a lot left, I believe, on the way, or at least a couple more on the way from the record club. But one of the ones that I got was this 7-inch record here. It's a split EP. We've got the Sensations, which are a Japanese ska band with Tokyo Two-Step is the name of the album. They play Magic Call and On and On, which I believe is a cover by the Muffs. And then on the other side, we've got a staple for us here in Texas and with Ska Punk International, Hans Gruber and the Diehards. And we've got Trepanation and a cover of I Put a Spell on You, the Screamin' Jay Hawkins version there. So excited to have that. We also got a copy of Stuck Lucky, Counting Curses. And this is a great album, a little bit more aggressive ska if you're more into that ska core side. This is I don't know if you can really see this. There we go. This gives you a good idea. It's like a gray, smoky kind of vinyl. Really great album. I was not as familiar with Stuck Lucky, and I did really enjoy the album quite a bit. So that was nice. One of the ones I knew I was going to get, and I was super stoked on, is this one, the third one that I got in that package, which is Runaway Ricochet, Diminishing Returns. This album is absolutely dope. It is a fantastic album. An album I really enjoyed throughout the year, and it's got 2 different colors. It has this, and I don't remember what exactly these colors are called. If you go on Discogs, the phenomenal RJ Phoenix of On the Upbeat fame has, and really Grandpa's Casino before that, but he is the one that actually put this record into Discogs, so he's got the names right. And then this beautiful kind of green color. I don't think you're getting that color at all here. It's such a good color. So this album, absolutely phenomenal. So again, Ska Punk International, these 3 albums all in that ska window, ska-ish, ska punk, ska core, that kind of stuff. So this is a little bit more on the ska punk side, I would say. All right, so Christmas came, and I got 2 records for Christmas, and these are 2 Kind of like the Incubus Morning View. These are two albums that were way up on my list. Like albums that I was like, I will hunt this record down. I will get this record. This one specifically is one that's been on my list for a long, long time. Now, this record is going to make... hold on. This record is going to make some people angry and make some people happy, and it is what it is. So this record is Ryan Adams, 1989. So Ryan Adams, for better or for worse, is one of my all-time favorite musicians. His music is absolutely gorgeous. It has meant so much to me over the years. It's so beautiful. This album, when it came out, I remember loving it. So this is a track-for-track cover of Taylor Swift's 1989 album. And he sort of recorded it and was putting it in some of his like Instagram videos and stuff, and then got the okay to release the album. And Taylor Swift like loved it at the time. Then later he got himself in a bunch of trouble. Whole New York Times expose. Hold on one second. Alexa, stop. Alexa decided to play Ocean Sounds for us. But got himself in trouble on a New York Times expose with some inappropriate conduct or questionable conduct. Was exonerated by the FBI and that kind of stuff, but he's definitely got a tarnished reputation now. But this album is phenomenal. If you like Taylor Swift, if you like singer-songwriter, alternative country, Americana kind of vibes, it's gorgeous. And I love it, and I'm so glad to have it. This is a double LP gatefold. It's just black vinyl. There's nothing remarkable to show you about the vinyl, but I am so glad this is in my collection now. He's one of my all-time favorite artists, just like the Decemberists, Death Cab for Cutie, Dashboard Confessional, Five Iron Frenzy, MXPX. These are some of my all-time favorite artists. So I want everything that they put out, you know. And that's hard with Ryan Adams because he's incredibly prolific. So... okay, this one here, I really want to show you the pressing. I may or may not be able to. We'll see. But this one I also got for Christmas. This is the Interscope Vinyl Collective Record of the Month for December, I believe. And it is the Across the Universe Deluxe soundtrack. If you've never seen Across the Universe, it is a musical movie, a movie musical. And I believe it was actually done on movie before it was a musical that you could go see on stage. But this is, you know, a jukebox musical made up pretty much entirely of Beatles songs. The cast is absolutely stellar. The movie is phenomenal. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And this is a 3 LP pressing of it. And I mean, this is really great quality. This is a numbered pressing. I have number 1738. I don't know how many there are. I don't care that much. But the first album is white vinyl. The third album is I'm going to go out of order here a little bit. The third album is just a real bright red vinyl. But it's the second album. Oh my goodness. This is unwieldy, to say the least, because this is, to give you an idea, this is a trifold, you know, pressing here. And the second album, which also there's like a little poster insert kind of thing in there. But this second one, that's the third one again. That didn't go right. Hold on, let's try this again. Maybe I can actually do what I say I'm going to do, if I'm careful. Okay, the second one. All right, so we do have this little like, I don't know what the right term for that is. It's not really a poster, but we have that in there. But look at this one here. It's very beautiful, and oh my goodness, how am I going to do this without dropping it? Just gorgeous. I think it's one of those too that it just looks better in person than it does on the video, but it is a gorgeous pressing. Now, I haven't re-sleeved this yet because it's so big. I need to get extra. Oh, what has happened? Oh, I see what happened. Okay, I'm going to have to mess with this in a second. The first record slid down into the second record compartment. I'm going to set this down over here. I'll fix that in a second. But that was ridiculous. That took up so much time. It's a gorgeous record, and it's beautiful. The visuals of it were done so well. The everything about it is phenomenal pressing. It sounds great. It is a it's I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's a great record. I highly recommend it. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I'm so glad that's in the collection. Yeah. Okay, another pre-order. And this is the last record to share with you. But this one is one that, like, I knew this was coming ahead of time. And I was like, whenever it comes, I don't care when it comes. Whenever it comes, I'm buying this album. I had begged Jason Unoriginal Vinyl to press it before. He was a little skeptical because the quality of the original recording was not phenomenal. You know, it was recorded in like a church basement. But the fans were calling for it, and we finally got it. And that is The Adventures of the OC Supertones, the first OC Supertones album on vinyl. And those first two albums were really the albums that I think a lot of us were obsessed with the most. I mean, they have other great albums. And depending on what you think, you know, some people struggle with some of their lyrical content now. I mean, they're a very Christian band. And so you kind of have to take that as you may. I love them, but even for me, some of the lyrics, you know. But look at this pressing, man. Look at this. It is stunning. Just a stunning, one of my favorite pressings I've ever had of anything. It sounds great, you know, for an album that originally was recorded so poorly. It sounds great. So let's see how many records we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 12-inch records and 2 7-inches. So that's a total of 15 new records added to the collection this month. However, I only paid for like 2.5 of those this month. And most of those were gifts. So it was a really fantastic month of December for me. I did, and I'll probably talk about this in my kind of year-end wrap-up podcast as well. Really encourage you, if you don't follow the podcast, to follow the podcast on all your podcasting sites. It'll also be here on YouTube. But I did kind of count it up, and for the year 2024, I added 155 records to my collection, which brought my collection to about 650 total. That's a lot. That's a lot. So that's part of this sort of trying to get a little bit more of a boundary and borderline and control around what I'm doing. Could I have easily bought a whole lot more than that? I sure could have. If I had the money, I sure could have. But I will continue to buy. I will continue to go to St. Marie Records. Again, I have a video where I've been to St. Marie and I interview Wyatt, but there's one problem I need to fix and I can't quite figure it out. One day you'll see that video. But I'm going to continue to go to St. Marie and pick up great stuff from them. I'm going to continue to add to the collection. In fact, I've already ordered one more record. I've got 2 records that are on order. One that I ordered today and one that I ordered in September and keeps getting pushed back. Yeah, I'm super excited to continue collecting records, but it's going to look a little different. Can't wait to keep sharing with you. Hey, if you liked any of the records that I picked up, tell me down there in the comments which one you liked and why you liked it. Share this video with your friends. I do want to grow. I'm going to be pretty inconsistent with my podcast, if I'm being honest. It's not going to be every week or every month or anything like that. It's going to be kind of when I can do it. But I am going to continue to do monthly updates on my record collection here. I am going to try and do more book talks on here as well. And I do have a podcast coming up where I kind of recap 2024 and where I look forward to 2025. That may be 2 podcasts. We'll have to see how long it goes. So check back in, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and yeah, have a great day.